Welcome everybody. Big shout out to our sponsors today. For without them, Drupal Camp Ottawa today would not be possible. We are recording, so that's great. Welcome to Content Management in Drupal. Today will be a live demo. My name is Minty. I am the office administrator at Coldfront Labs. I started back in October 2024, so I'm still relatively new to the company. And also, this is my first conference presentation, so I'm a little bit nervous. I may speak a little bit fast. I apologize. Please let me know if I need to slow down or repeat myself, and I will do so. Today we are going to explore just how easy content management can be in Drupal. It is so easy that you don't need any development experience. And how do I know that? Because I don't have any. I graduated in 2015 from Algonquin College with an advanced diploma in child and youth work. And other than that, my work experience has been quick service food and retail. I worked at Disney World, Tim Hortons, a jewelry store, and countless years at Reitman's. So I have no web development experience whatsoever. My site today that I will be using to demo is a very basic site that was set up by my husband, who is a web developer. A couple months after I started working at Coldfront Labs, I was asked to edit some content for a client. Now, this isn't something that we typically offer at Coldfront. And you know, working at a web development company, asking to do something on a client's website, I was a little unsure. They say it's easy, but how easy is it really? Well, can I copy and paste from a document onto the website? Yep, I can. Can I click mouse buttons to make sure that headings are on the proper heading lines or word is italicized? I can do that. And one of the observations that I have made over the few months that I have been with Coldfront is that potential clients are always asking for the same thing. They want a content management system that allows for easy to edit allows for easy editing and maintaining of content and be able to provide a variety of pages. So today we're going to cover how to create a new content page, how to edit and format that content, how to add media such as images and YouTube videos, how to schedule content for future publishing, how to revert to previous versions of a content that was created, and how to create events, including reoccurring events. So what is Drupal and why use Drupal? Well, Drupal is a content management system. It is open source, so there's no licensing fees to use it, and the community is always improving the code. It is flexible by design. It adapts to any industry or any project that you need it to, and allows for custom content types and fields. It is scalable, so it does allow you to grow with tons of free modules and themes. Accessibility and multilingual capabilities are already built into Drupal, and it is SEO friendly. It has user-friendly content authoring experience, as you will see today. It has strong version control, and it has workflow management that allows for content staging, such as draft versus published versus archived, and has different rules and permissions that are set out for the users. So what are the differences between content types? There's article and news, basic page, blog, custom. Well, it's really all semantics when it comes down to it. The page can be whatever you want it to be. What you need to do is make sure that you define the difference for each page for your organization. Now, this is typically done with developers who have met with the stakeholders at your organization to determine the content types that were needed. For my site, it is going to be yarn, knitting, and crochet related. I'm going to have a news page, a blog page, and an events page. As well as you'll see that there's a couple different reference pages that are one-offs. So my news posts are going to be factual, official. They're going to be shorter in length, like an announcement of offering a new service or a product, hosting an event, or attending a trade show. Keep it short, stick to the facts. A blog post will be opinion-based, personal, advice given. It'll be informative, yet engaging and welcoming. And it's typically going to be longer in length than a news post. So like I just finished knitting a project, I'm going to discuss who it's for, the type of yarn that I used, if I made any changes to the pattern, and if I were to do it again, what would I do differently? And then events will have details about ongoing and upcoming events. So before we get into the demo, let's go over a couple of formatting content tips. You will have headings on your page as they help provide structure for your content. Each page will only have one H1 heading line, otherwise known as the title of your page. Other heading lines, such as heading 2 or heading 3, will help divide your content further into sections. Your headings should clearly indicate what the section below is about and include any relevant keywords. So you've got a heading, or one title, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. You cannot skip heading lines. They have to go in order, but you can repeat them as many times as needed on your page. You may choose to use bullet points or numbered lists on your page. What is the difference? When should you use them? A bullet point is used for unordered lists. So when the order of the items does not affect the meaning or the understanding of it. They help break up long paragraphs by making it easier for the reader to scan. They also highlight key points as they can draw the reader's attention to important details and make them stand out. So my example is I have a list of different types of yarn: acrylic, merino, alpaca, mohair. Numbered lists are ordered lists. This is when the sequence of items is important to the understanding of the information. So like step-by-step instructions or chronological events. So I want to knit a new project. I have to choose my pattern first, gather my materials, cast on, knit according to the pattern, cast off, and I'm done. Think of it this way: if you can rearrange the items in your list without changing the meaning, then bullet points are likely appropriate. But if changing your order is going to cause confusion or misinterpretation, then a numbered list is better. Some best practices for both is you want to keep your list concise. Each point should be short and to the point, and you want to use clear and consistent language throughout. That helps it be easier to understand. And also, to create a sense of rhythm and provide clarity, you want to start each point with the same part of speech. So the same verb tense, or a noun, or an adjective. You want to avoid overuse. Use lists sparingly on your pages to prevent overwhelming the reader. Now, if you're going to put an image on your page, you want to add alt text to it. It is a brief description of the image or graphics, and it is key to having an accessible site. They're read by screen readers or other assistive technology to provide info to the reader. You want your alt text to be specific and concise. Describe essential info of the image. Typically, you want them to be 125 characters or less. Any longer than that, and you might risk them being cut off by some screen readers. When writing it, you want to consider, what does someone who can't see the image need to know? Context is key when including an image on your page. You want to think about the surrounding text and the purpose of the image on the page. What does the image convey that isn't already in the text? Alt text should complement and not duplicate surrounding content. You want to identify key elements in your image. Describe important objects, people, animals, actions, and include relevant details such as colors, sizes, or the relationships between the elements. And you want to avoid redundancy. So you don't have to include phrases such as image of or picture of, but you should indicate whether it's a logo or an illustration or a diagram. So for example, I have this image. My alt text, if I were to put this on a website, would be a woven basket overflowing with an array of skeins of yarn in various vibrant colors. So let's get into it. So my site is Miss Minty Maze. It is a work in progress. It is pretty simple, pretty basic. I have a couple of pieces up here already that you will see as we go through. And I am logged in, I believe. Yes. as a basic content editor. So on your website, if you're editing content, you are likely going to have your role as a content editor, or author, sorry. So we're going to create a news post first. So I'm going to go to this plus sign, and I'm going to create news. So I have pre-written out my stuff here, and I'm going to copy it here. So like I said, my news might be putting in, a new product that I might sell if I were a store. So there's my title, new product announcement, sock tubes. And then I want to add my content here. So I will copy that. And then in here, you can add a summary if you wanted. And I have layout paragraphs used on my website. So I'm going to add a section. Now in this case, because I want to add an image, I am going to choose a 2-column so that I have text on one side and image on the other side. I can change my column width so that it's split 50-50, 75-25, whatever. So let's start with 75-25 so you can see sort of what that looks like. So I've got one plus sign here, one plus sign here. I'm going to start over on this side, and I'm going to add my text into here. Now, when you're copying and pasting your text into, oops, I didn't copy it all. Let's try that again. When you're copying your content from a document, one thing that I have noticed is that you want to do Control-Shift-V, not just Control-V. You want to paste and match style, because otherwise whatever style was being used in your document is then going to paste into here. So here's my little post. I might typically make that a little bit longer if there's something more that I wanted to say. And now I'm going to add my image. So it's a media, so I'm going to hit media this time. Add media. Gonna go in and choose this one. I know JPEG works, so let's do that. And I already have my alt text sorted out here. So we will, oops, downside to forgetting my mouse at home. All right, copy that. Paste that in. So when a screen reader goes over the page, this is the alt text that they will read, that it's a sock tube and the colors that it has. And we're going to insert that, save. There it is. We can leave it in draft mode for now. We can publish it later. And so there it is. So that's what the 75-25 looks like. Now, I want my image to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change that. And just change the column width there. And there it is. Just a little bit bigger, not much, but just to show off what it is. Now we're going to create a blog post. So that is just post on this page. I'm going to copy my title, paste that in, add a section. Now for this one, I am going to show you how to use a couple different heading lines as well as add in some YouTube links. So I'm going to keep it all in one column. And I am going to go grab my blob of text. And add text block. Control-Shift-V. So there it is. So now I want to just fix up some of the lines here, and I want Grocery Girls to be a heading line 2, and then watch their latest episode to be a heading line 3. So we'll save that. Now I want to add in a YouTube video, so I'm going to add in a section here. Hit save, go grab my link. And this time, when I add in, we are going to go to media, but we are going to go to video this time. Put in the YouTube link, hit add, there it is, save, insert, save again, there it is. So when I go to preview it, so there's my heading line 2, there's my little bit of text about the Grocery Girls, there's the heading line 3, so it's related to the Grocery Girls, and then there they can watch it. Now we can do that again with a couple more. I'll add in just one more here so that I have some more to show you later. And so again, add the section, text, change up to the heading lines. So again, you can use as many heading lines as you, whoopsies, that wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. That's going to show up better. And then if we add one more, we'll add in that video. Media, I'm going to add new media again. If you wanted to reuse any media that you have already uploaded on your website, it is there. Yes?
Sorry, I'm just curious, is it possible to increase the size of the video when you embed it?
Increase the size of the page?
The video, when it's embedded, yeah.
In the current site, no. But that is not a thing for Drupal. That's more of a limitation of the website that was thrown together.
So yes, it can be increased.
Yes.
Just I cannot increase it. That would be something that I would have to go back to my developer and be like, hey, can you change that, please? I don't like how small it is. So yes, it is possible. No, I can't do it right now. Great question though, because I agree. It is a little on the small side, but it works for the purpose of our demo today. So, so that is my blog page. Now you can go back to my menu here and you can see, oh, I don't have any news. That's okay, even though we created it, we can publish that. Before we get into publishing all the drafts that I just created, let's create an event. So, there we go, okay. So my one-off event is going to be this lovely event that I would love to go to one day. When I'm not working and I'm not being a mom, I like to knit and crochet. So this is where this all comes from. So let's see. My dates here for this event are September 6th to the 28th later this year. So they are all-day events. So I'm going to click that all-day event, and now I'm going to go and find those dates and select them from the calendar, and there we go. Now, yes, this event technically does repeat, but for the purposes of this, it does not. And so I'm going to add my text block. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to remove this because I've already put in the dates. I am going to rearrange where the location is titled, where the location is, because you probably want to see that first. And, maybe bold it to draw attention to it. There it is. Let's publish this one. Save. There you go. So there's my event. So if I go to upcoming events, I see, oh, look, there's 2 events here. Knit City, Montreal. Somehow I didn't put the days in right there, but that's okay. And then this one that we just created today. Now, you might have reoccurring events that you want to have on your website. So what that is going to look like to create is I'm going to, no, not that. We are going to host a craft night. It is going to be held on the last Tuesday of every month. So we're going to select the first one, which will be this month. We're going to set the time. It's definitely not going to be this early in the day. Typically, we're all working. So 7:30 at night, maybe for 90 minutes. Now it does repeat, so it's going to repeat monthly, just once a month. So once a month, and it is going to be on the last Tuesday. And it is going to end in November before we get into the crazy season of Christmas or any holidays. Now we're going to add a little bit of information so that people know where to find me. I apologize for continuing to do that. All right. I really miss my mouse today, guys. Thought I packed it. All right. There we go. And we're going to, again, text, Control-Shift-V. That's a link. And we will publish that. So there we go. So now when I go to upcoming events, you'll see I've got craft night. It occurs monthly on the last Tuesday of every month. So if you go there, it'll show up. Okay. So you've seen me put links into websites, into a post, sorry. And I've just sort of left it like this. People will know that it's a link. Doesn't really look the greatest. So how can we fix that? So on here, again, I've got a couple links down here. So we're going to go in and fix this so that it is still a link, but it looks a little bit more neat and tidy. So edit. We want to edit this text block. And so this website, I'm going to put in the title here. I am going to remove that. I'm going to highlight the word that I want. Now you can choose a selection of words if it's within a paragraph or whatever, but you want to highlight whatever you want to be linked. So in this case, it is just one single word. And I'm going to hit this little chain link option up here in my toolbar. And I will put in my link. And so now that's underlined. So we save that, you'll see the difference. There it is. If I hit it, it takes me to the website that I want it to take my readers to. So very easy to do. I have had to do it a few times for clients. So how do you schedule content? So we've thankfully created a few different contents here that we can schedule. So we will go into my podcasts and we will schedule content. So over here on your right-hand side, you've got scheduling options. We're going to test this out. We're going to choose just 2 minutes from now. And we will save it. So it's draft. We'll come back to that in 2 minutes. You'll see here that it's to be published. And so in 2 minutes, that should be published. So over here, content, you can see that I have all of these different types of content. Some of them are published, some of them are unpublished. This is sort of where you can see what is viewable to your readers of your website. If you have a piece of content that is archived, it will still say unpublished here, at least in my website, when I've tried to archive something. So we can try doing that here with, which one? This one. So let's just quickly publish this one. Quickly publish that. So there it is. It's live. If I were to go to my posts, my must-have tools is there. And then if I go down into the site, I can change it to archived. And now when I go back to my content list, you will see here that my must-have tools is now unpublished as of 10/34. Which means that maybe my podcasts this has been published. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Well, that's fine. If I wanted to revert to a previous version of an edit, so we'll go back to this page because this is one that we have edited. You go into your revisions here, and you see that this yellow line is the one that is currently live on the site for anybody who wants to see it. I can revert it back to any of these previous versions. As you can see, I've worked a lot on it. So we'll just pick that one, revert, and now it will look different. So if we wanted to view it, the only thing that I've changed here, oh look. So before, it was all across down here, and now it's off to one side. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's fix it again. We'll revert it and view it. And there it is, back to how we saw it before. When you are, not the words I want, when you are editing a piece of content, you can create a revision log so that if there are other content editors on your website who are on there looking at the content that's up there, they can see what you've done. So, you know, we changed the links. And we can fix this again. Instagram, we will add this. That, save. So now all of my links are there, and if I were to go to the revision log, I can see that, oh, she changed the links to this one. Just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to cover, and that might have been it. My scheduling content never went, but it's possible, guys. I promise you. It's happened before. If you wanted to schedule content to be published at a later date, but then, oh, maybe that's why I didn't do it. I didn't hit my publish state. That would do it. I can also then unpublish it on a later date as well. So it could then be archived. Change my publish state. There we go. So it's going to be scheduled now, later today at 10:38, and it'll be unpublished again at 10:39. So that'll be. So right now, as you can see, it is still in draft version. And that's, I believe, all I have right now. I think I've covered everything. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay. First clap first. 10:38. Let's see what happens, guys. Maybe. Or not. That's okay. That's okay. What if
Sounds like your developer didn't set up cron.
I wonder. Yeah, no, so it's not there. That's okay. Well, I'll have to have a word with my developer later. But yeah, like this is my simple little basic site that I have just for this demo, which is great. Yeah?
I'm just curious, are you able to change the layout or the colors without?
So as a content editor, no. That is something that the developers do when they are setting up the website. And again, that is usually discussed at the beginning of the project with any stakeholders at your organization. So your site can have any colors that are key to your organization, or you can have your logo up here. that all happens during the development process of the website with the developers and stakeholders. This. So, yeah. Yes?
Is Drupal only accessible like through an organization? Like, is the platform only accessible? Like, do they only make their platform accessible like to organizations, or can like independents and like freelancers use it?
I will refer that to some developers.
Absolutely, you can use it.
Yeah.
No matter what you do. It's like
Yeah.
100% free download.
Yeah, it's an open source, so it is free to use and download.
Okay.
But yeah, you can.
Yeah, no, you can just go to Drupal.org, go to the download page, and get yourself set up.
Okay, and you have to work with a developer to get it set up?
Currently, yes, there are platforms like Pantheon is one of them that are trying to get like one-click installs working, and there is an initiative called Drupal CMS that just recently came out that is also trying to get that into like a Squarespace equivalent, where you're just like, I want a Drupal site, can I click it and go?
Yeah.
I would be lying to you if I said that was super fleshed out and perfect to use.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, it would still be recommended to at least know a developer who can help you.
Okay.
You don't really need a developer, but there's like, then there's the, like with open source software in terms of like it has to run somewhere and it has to get installed there. I mean, you can do all that. The reason Drupal really got popular is because it was really easy for people who are like, oh, I need a website for my organization. Like, what can I do for this? I can download this thing and turn it on, and all right, well, I can start creating stuff. But like with categories,
Right.
yeah, you definitely don't necessarily need a developer, but you may find yourself being a developer.
Yeah. that's kind of like where I was going with my questions, because it would be nice to have like more creative control and to kind of like be your own developer.
So Drupal is actually a fantastic platform for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if Claire's logged in, if she's goes into like.
If you log into the
To my other one?
Did your developer not give you a very elevated role, Claire?
I have a content authoring role, very basic, very, very basic. I do have another one. So.
Is there actual questions about your presentation now?
Okay, so now I'm in my other role. So where do you want me to go?
So if you go to like structure,
The one up.
there you go. And content types. So we're getting deep into Drupal, but like this is sort of like if you're going to use Rails or something, this would all be in code. But like here are all the different kinds of content that we have. Decide like you go to manage fields on news. All right, okay.
Sorry.
Like here's the different like stuff that what an event is, and so if you wanted to change like oh, your events have required, what's the thing an event can have that you're going to do?
A location.
A location, yeah.
Yeah, don't have that.
Like add field, and then create a location pick, and now all your events have locations that you do something with. So, like for putting things together for the most part, you can kind of do it. But there's sort of, so you can kind of be your own developer. Not that you're
In the editor, when you selected a block and then you had the option to select media or text,
Yeah.
are there other types of blocks that you could add, like a slider or maybe the image under the text or something like that?
Yeah, so with the layout paragraphs, add a section. So if we just keep it one column for now, you can add as many sections as you want to. You can have, this first one be a media, and have an image. Just use one that's already on my site. And then you can, put some text here. some text here. And then you can continue to add more columns below it as you wanted to, and add in whatever here. By way of the components that can be put in here, I'm not sure.
So that would be defined by your developers who give you more components to use. So like you can absolutely have a slider component, or let's say you have a very specific if you wanted to embed like an alert style block into your page, you could set all that up and make use of it, and then give your content authors the ability to access those things. Because from this demo is like the perspective of an author, where it's like you don't have like you're working with the tools that you're given, but it is easy to use. You can just go with it. But from a more site builder perspective, you can make whatever blocks you want. Just as long as you're making them work and styling them a little bit, setting up their fields, they'll appear there and you can use them.
With the wood, can you make it full width as well, or would that be an option?
That entirely depends on your theme, like the styles of your site that you're using. A lot of frameworks do support that. This one does. We just don't have that turned on right now. But yes, so that is very dependent on what CSS theme you're using.
Yes.
Similar questions about
Yeah.
if you were to make different column sizes, let's say not 25, and different sizes. If you were to do that, would you put the plugin, or would you do that with
Those would have to be predefined in the plugin itself.
So for my 2-column layout, for example, I only have this set available to me. So I can change it. I can change it as often as I want to get, the feel for it, see if for whatever you like. And then if we were to actually look at it live as, any sort of viewer. So this is what it would look like to any viewer of my website. This would be the 50-50 for the 2-column. Any other questions? Yes?
Can you edit the HTML when you're adding content?
No.
So the editor does give you the ability to do that. We highly discourage it. Like if you're someone who knows how to use HTML, it's probably fine. You can work with it. But we find most content author people are like, I want what you see is what you get editor.
Yeah.
Rich
A
text
WYSIWYG.
editor. And then as soon as you give them access to HTML, they're like, oh, I can kind of figure it out. And then I really broke it all of a sudden when I deleted something. And now I don't know how to fix it. You have to go get a developer who knows to go in and edit the content to fix it. So it is
concern being if you're copying and pasting from Word into the editor,
Yep.
you need to make sure that Word is formatted correctly.
Yes.
That instead of paragraphs, people are breaking spaces.
Yeah.
That will copy over into the editor.
Yes.
Yeah.
CK Editor 5, which is the new version of the text editor, Drupal, mostly like 10, 11. Definitely is better with fixing some of those issues.
It's not perfect.
It is not.
Always room for improvement.
Yeah. And there are other modules you can get. I forget the exact name of it.
What's that paste filter?
Yeah, there's a paste filter.
clean paste?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is a contrib module now that lets you set your own cleanup filters. So if you realize like, oh, someone keeps pasting from Word and it keeps putting this markup into the document, you make a specific filter to get rid of all of that through the UI.
And can you activate like any themes that you find like on a Drupal repository, or do you have to like code it yourself?
So as a content editor, I would not be able to change the theme. Again, that goes back to talking to your developers. But
You absolutely can just install whatever theme you like. There's lots of provided ones. With the caveat being they need to be on your site to use. So it's not like you can find one on the internet and just be like, I'm going to copy paste this link and start using it. Someone will have to actually enable it on your site for you to use. And then if you had that permission to change themes, then you could do that.
You still need an user. You can go to appearance and change the theme.
I am still admin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what's used right now.
Use Claro.
Claro. Set as default.
Don't set it to Stark.
So then if I were to go, what, here and refresh?
Yeah, refresh your page.
So,
I have a whole new look.
whole new look. I don't have my menu bar because it was not set up for Claro, it was set up through Drupal.
So if you switch themes, you have to reset all your.
Some things you'll need to reset up, like global page layout areas. Do not
It's not
transfer
found.
between those.
The theme is also the admin theme, so it doesn't have the same regions that like your front end theme would. So
Let's see what
because
happens when you
the
swap.
themes define like what areas are available for stuff,
Oh, look at that.
and so the admin theme has different areas than the front end theme would. So it does its best when you enable a new one. Be like, hey, you should use this one for everything. Drupal will be like, I'll try and put things where you wanted it. But yeah, you can also then go to blocks and set up the different layouts for
Mhm.
the themes. So if you wanted to go crazy and have a site that had like dozens of enabled themes, you could, and then you would tell Drupal when to switch them. So if you're looking at this, use this theme, or looking at that, use that. And then you could have the site be totally different depending on the context you're looking at the page in.
So you can have multiple themes enabled?
You have multiple themes enabled and have Drupal like change it. So if you wanted to completely change the look of your site depending on the page you're on, that is a thing you could do. I mean, it does happen.
Okay? Yes?
From the user interface, can you establish, let's say you're creating a page, and you want to establish a relationship with events. Can this be done with the user interface, or does it require development assistance?
That would be done through a field. So someone would have to set up a reference field in your content type, and then when you are editing your content type, you can type in whatever references you want, and there Drupal will associate the two.
So there would be,
From a basic text field standpoint, you wouldn't do that. But essentially what is happening here with that media item that Claire is placing on the page, that is a reference to another entity on your site.
so because I can go in here and I can see all the media that's on my page. And this is, you can also go in as a content editor, also go in and change the alt text of an image if you needed to, update it for whatever reason.
Give it a more descriptive name.
Give it a more descriptive name. Sock tube with mini skein. That's my more descriptive name. So now it's changed. So then people would actually know what that media is, without being like, what is it, before they insert it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you. Do you have to clap again?
No, you're fine.
What's a sock tube?
What's a sock tube? Okay, so a sock tube is just basically a tube of knitting that is often used to make a pair of socks from. I made this one using a circular sock machine, so it just cranks out. Yeah, it's
3D printed.
It's 3D printed. Dean and Bean CSM.
Not by me.
No, this one, no. So this is.
They don't sell the STLs.
No. So this is what the sock machine looks like. As you can see at the far left there's a cone of yarn that is then set up through the yard mast, and then goes through all the needles on the cylinder, and it just knits a straight tube. That then I would go in, I would measure how long my foot is, put my toe in, put my heel in, how long do I want my cuff to go up my leg, and put in my ribbing for my cuff. Yeah. I know, very niche-y website.